Hi again everybody, welcome to another edition of NJPW Extra. I'm Chris Charlton, right here in the NJPW Event Center where the New Year's Golden Series has finally resumed over in Japan. We've got the biggest scoop on the hottest event of the spring in our debut in the Chicago area and plenty of other news to get to from NJPW and NJPW Strong, plus a big time featured matchup this week as we continue our countdown of the best of 2021. Chris Dickinson challenging Tom Lawlor for the Strong Openweight Championship from last spring. That all still to come, but first, let's take a look at what's been happening around the world in NJPW this week. Starting in Japan this week, where New Year's Golden Series has finally resumed after a 2-week layoff, with action coming up this week from Korakuen Hall, Sendai Zebbio Arena, and the Edion Arena in Osaka. Master Wato will face El Desperado for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship in Sendai, while Osaka will be headlined by an all-star tag team contest as Tetsuya Naito and Sanada face Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada. That main event, a preview of a pair of championship matches in Sapporo. To close the tour, February the 19th and 20th, with Kazuchika Okada vs Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, the biggest match of them all. This their 11th singles bout, with 10 matches between them over the last 15 years, giving each man 5 wins apiece. 10 years on from their classic encounter at the 40th anniversary event in Korakuen Hall, either Naito or Okada will be carrying the standard into New Japan Pro Wrestling's 50th year celebrations. Just who will it be in Sapporo? Find out live and in English on NJPWWorld.com. On NJPW Strong this week, New Beginning USA 2022 kicked off from Washington Hall in Seattle, starting with Yuya Uemura facing Brody King. Brody dealt all the damage in this one, but Uemura was full of that young lion heart, kicking out of hard and heavy chops and throwing as good as he got with a massive dropkick, ninzaguri, and a backdrop suplex. Brody landed a huge pile driver for 2, and Uemura managed to navigate cross-arm breaker, but it was a massive lariat from Big Bad Brody King and the Gonzo Bomb to secure victory. There was a little bit of Roppongi Rush in Seattle this week, as Rocky Romero and Leo Rush took on the West Coast Wrecking Crew. The match started hectic, and Jarrell dumped Rush on the floor before Rocky was isolated in the wrong corner. But when Rush tagged in, he was explosive on offense and setting up Rocky for the forever clotheslines. He was derailed by a knee into the hush money for 2.9, but Leo made the save for his partner before a pop-up knee from Isaacs did some damage. Yet after exposing the turnbuckle earlier into the match, it was Isaacs that would taste the steel, and with an assist from the man of the hour, Rocky Romero got a Diablo armbar submission victory. The main event saw the culmination of over 3 years of issues between TJP and Clark Connors. Clark had his home Seattle crowd behind him here in the first main event of the New Beginning USA Tour. And there were questions about Clark Connors' knee going into this match. That led TJP into an early attack, but it was quite clear that Clark Connors had a stable base as he landed an Everest German suplex and a massive pounce on the floor over the timekeeper's table. United Empire's public enemy will be able to pick up some offense by going after the shoulder instead, with a massive single-arm DDT on the apron, and the veteran was able to control Clark Connors effectively. But a desperate spear through the ropes would get Connors some space. The drive of Connors was much too much, as he kicked out of the Mamba Splash quickly and then out of the detonation kick at 0, before ultimately Clark Connors hit his own version of the Mamba Splash, a powerbomb, a power slam, and the trophy kill for an emphatic victory. Clark Connors feeling good, and the entire New Japan Pro Wrestling audience feeling good at a huge announcement this week. On April the 16th, New Japan Pro Wrestling finally hits the Chicago area as the Odeum Expo Center gets set to host Windy City Riot, with tickets on sale now. How about that? You're going to want to make sure to be a part of the action at Windy City Riot and NJPW's long-awaited debut in the Chicago area April the 16th. It's all part of a spectacular and busy spring for New Japan Pro Wrestling in Japan and the US. April 1st, we're a big part of WrestleCon in Dallas, Texas. Before that, March 20th, Tampa, St. Petersburg, and NJPW Strong presents Strong Style Evolve. But right around the corner, February the 17th, Strong returns to the Vermont Hollywood. And what a lineup it is for rivals. Blake Christian will be taking on Chris Bay. Gabriel Kidd will be facing Christopher Daniels. Ren Narita versus Buddy Matthews. The continuation of the USFJ Open Challenge, and so much more. NJPW1972.com for all the ticket information. Make sure you're a part of Rivals. Alright, let's take you to our featured match this week. The fans voted it number 2 match of the year for 2021. Tom Lawlor had just won the Strong Openweight Championship and declared that he was the strongest right here on Strong. But the Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson thought differently. We've got Kevin Kelly and Alex Kozlov on the call. Let's head to ringside.
Oh, look at this. Well, he's cleaned up. He's got a new ring jacket. But filthy Tom Lawlor, New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Champion. He certainly earned that title. No taking anything away from the great wrestler that is Tom Lawlor.
That's the perfect representation of the New Japan Strong Openweight Champion. Perfect man to hold the title. And Chris Dickinson thinks if that title belongs to him somehow.
Oh, no. I don't think so. I think he wants to prove himself against the best. All right, so the first defense. Filthy Tom Lawlor versus Chris Dickinson. Give me kind of your tail of the tape on this one. Does Lawlor have the chin to be able to withstand that lethal left forearm of Chris Dickinson?
I'll be honest with you. Tom Lawlor has been in a lot of battles, and that takes a toll on you, including your chin. And so that will be the most dangerous position for him to be in, to get caught by one of those forearms by Chris Dickinson. He needs to, focus on picking apart Chris Dickinson, utilize his ground and pound, his kicks, his submission acumen to neutralize Chris Dickinson.
I think this is going to be a great wrestling match. So here we go. Tries to shoot the single leg. Lawlor refusing to go.
Able to take down Lawlor. Lawlor not making it easy for him.
Lawlor followed a unique path into pro wrestling after a great amateur career, decided that pro wrestling was where he wanted to be. Then transitioned into mixed martial arts and eventually became one of the top stars in UFC. Only to reach the heights in UFC to then go back to pro wrestling. There's very few that have done that.
It's very true. It takes a special kind of person to be able to do that.
Watch what he's doing. Watch what he's doing. Come on, guys. Jesus, just watch him.
Some protestations coming from the Team Filthy corner. Of course, it all fell apart for Chris Dickinson in Team Filthy after Dickinson got a victory for the team in the 8-man elimination match. The celebration began, and Dickinson was a little coy, was a little cool, and all of a sudden came the low blow. We can't forget, though, that Tom Lawlor was eliminated by Carl Fredericks. Can't forget that.
That is true. I mean, it was a special kind of match. I mean, it's not typical to be to lose just from a regular elimination. That was those were the rules, and Carl Fredericks was able to do it.
You know, you remember last year when Kenta was the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship rights certificate holder, when Brody King eliminated him, beat him, he was the challenger. And I would think that Carl Fredericks might be next in line for whomever wins this match. Again, just because Lawler is the champion doesn't mean that, uh-oh, wait a minute. Each man.
Both men with the ankle lock.
And now Lawler trying to tie up both legs.
Wow.
And Dickinson wrenching on the leg lock and keeping Tom Lawlor right there.
Now, I think that this is where Tom Lawlor has more strength in this area, in the submission game. I'm not taking anything away from Chris Dickinson.
No,
but this is where Tom Lawlor is really good at.
So in the stand-up, you might give Dickinson the edge, but here I agree with you. I think Lawler's a clear favorite.
Look at the way that he was able to turn that over, modify that submission.
And Dickinson able to get the rope, the bottom rope to force the rope break. Couldn't out-wrestle Lawler in that exchange. Lawler trying to create an opening here, trying to come in. Dickinson will try to keep him at bay.
Tom Lawlor is real good at, you know, keeping the right range between himself and his opponent to be able to strike with the leg. As you can see, Chris Dickinson rushed with a succession of palm strikes there, moving Tom Lawlor into the rope, breaking that exchange. Okay, Chris Dickinson was able to check that kick. A few kicks of his own.
Drives Lawler back in. Now Lawler scoops him up, going to try to take him down, and does.
Chris Dickinson still holding on to that head of Tom Lawlor. Going for the triangle choke there. Doesn't quite have the hooks perfectly. While there is some damage being done, not quite as effective.
There it is. Shoulders up. Stay, Tom.
Either Dickinson or Lawler need to be aware of their shoulders at all times. And now the gator roll.
Oh, and this is a very tight submission.
Squeeze it, come on.
Well, a position here where Lawler
5 minutes has elapsed. 5
forcing
minutes.
Dickinson to tap out. Dickinson able to pry the grip loose.
Well, he's got the back of Lawler here. Not a good position for Lawler here. Lawler trying to leg pick him here. And to Dickinson, he's looking for the arm bar. Lawler able to get out and now get on top of Dickinson.
Could be looking for a three-quarter Nelson here, but also Lawler's trying to take the left arm.
Look at the way that he's pulling on that arm.
And now foregoing the arm, going back to the legs. Dickinson reaching back. Can't tell you what a victory here for Chris Dickinson, what it would mean to him personally as a lifelong fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Again, even as a young man, long before New Japan World, he was trading tapes with fans all over the world just to get glimpses of his favorites. For him to hold a championship in New Japan Pro Wrestling would mean everything to Chris Dickinson, who's held championships all around the world. And for Lawler, oh, and comes in with the kick. So Dickinson now from the side headlock, sent across, jumping spin kick out of the way, and Dickinson puts him down with the tackle. Lawler will roll to the floor. The champion is frustrated, filthy Tom Lawlor. Now on the back pedal, Dickinson going out after him. And Lawler catching Dickinson, at least trying to, as
Dickinson holds on to that ankle of Tom Lawlor, pulling him out. Dickinson should be careful being on the outside. Team Filthy is very nearby.
Well, to their credit, Limelight and Kratos have not done anything physical. They have simply been in the corner of Tom Lawlor. But it is something to be aware of. And a dragon screw leg whip, snapping the leg of Filthy Tom Lawlor against the edge of the ring.
One.
That could open
2,
a world of possibilities
3,
for Dickinson if he can get Lawlor back in the ring.
4. 5.
His damaging
6,
that leg, it will be harder for Tom Lawlor
7,
to throw kicks.
8. 9.
Minimizing the choice
10,
of weapons that he has at his
11.
disposal.
12. 13.
So Lawlor in, breaks the count, and baits Dickinson in.
Come on, in the ring. Let's go. Come on, Tom. Get him back in here.
Watch out now. Dangerous territory for both men here on the edge of the ring. Oh!
What a hard chop.
Oh, wait a
Catches the
minute
kick.
now.
Hey, come on, don't lose the ropes. Come on.
Wrapping his leg around the ropes. Trapping Dickinson.
And snapping his neck at the same time.
What are they there for? Tell
That-
me what the hell they're there for then.
That is, as you say, using the ring as a weapon.
Threw me outside, so it's up for the...
Well, he's just returning the favor. Chris Dickinson just did that just a second ago, using the apron.
Oh, absolutely. It is a...
It's all a go here between these two.
No doubt. There's too much at stake. You know, the first championship here for New Japan Strong, and Filthy Tom Lawlor being the title holder. It's a lot of prestige for Lawlor, who's had accolades all over the world, as we told you.
Come on, keep it center of the ring. Center of the ring, okay?
I don't want it.
Jeremy trying to gain control of this match.
And the forearm, Dickinson trying to roll away.
And a knife-edge chop. Returning the favor. And another.
UFC, you bitch!
Dickinson asking for it. Insulting Tom Lawlor. Chopping away.
Dickinson says, I teach you, chop. Sending Lawlor to the corner.
Hard clothesline.
Yes, follows up, and now looking to drive him again. Wait a minute, Lawlor catches him.
Yeah, Jacob, drive through the mat, drive
Oh!
And as JR Kratos says it, Filthy Tom Lawlor drives Chris Dickinson almost through the
10
mat.
minutes has elapsed. 10 minutes.
Cover, 2. So what exhausts you more, a wrestling match like this or an up-and-down lucha type of match?
Well, I mean, the grappling that happens inside the ring, it can be exhausting over a period of time. You know, obviously flying around, springboarding, you know, requires a lot of explosive energy, and that also is very taxing. Being slammed down like Tom Lawlor slammed Chris Dickinson can take the win out.
Uh-oh, wait a minute. Transitioning from the ankle lock to the figure 4.
Oh.
Chris, you want to give up?
I thought for sure Dickinson was going to get out. Now I'm not so sure because
Very tight.
Filthy Tom Lawlor has it perfectly applied.
Oh, my God.
Very tight figure 4 leg left.
The move invented, wait a minute, 2. The move invented by Buddy Rogers and perfected by the likes of Jack Briscoe and Ric Flair, being applied perfectly by Filthy Tom Lawlor. Also great awareness by the referee, Jeremy Marcus, to see Dickinson's shoulders down. And now the reversal of the figure 4, which now puts all the pressure on Lawlor. And Lawlor has to get to the ropes, and he'll let go of the figure 4 because the pain was coursing through his limbs.
Sometimes it's impossible to let go of the figure 4 because you're so tied up. It takes a couple of seconds to just let go of such a tight hold.
Well, more damage done in the figure 4 than in the reversal. And we'll see how Dickinson is able to move, if he is.
Hard
Yep.
European.
Dickinson, very long arms. He has a tremendous reach advantage. Oh, beautiful. Go behind, and now trying to sink in the choke. Dickinson used the reach to extend the arm for the chop, but you saw how Lawlor was able to slip in behind.
Bar clubs to the neck, and now with the rear naked chokehold there.
Still in the ropes, and he'll be there until referee Jeremy Marcus starts counting.
Don't let go. Don't let go.
Well, Dickinson able to free himself, though.
Hard chop to the chest of Tom Lawlor.
So Lawlor was in the offensive position, but now he's got to play defense as Chris Dickinson looks for offensive opportunity here.
And if he is able to execute the suplex off the top, that would be monumental. And a turning point in this match.
And he's got him.
Off the very top. This
Listen,
move takes a toll on both men.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it doesn't feel good for Dickinson, but it's worse for filthy Tom Lawlor.
What?
Good, you all right?
2, 3,
Come on, you got it. Come on. Come on.
4, 5.
The sights and sounds inside a championship match here. Our main event, the culmination of the Collision Tour, a New Japan Strong, and Chris Dickinson with a new lease on life and a surge of adrenaline as he charges forward.
Follows through with a second clothesline in the corner.
Lawlor reverses. Dickinson charges out of the buckle and drills Lawlor. Uh-oh, back to the choke.
Dickinson picks him up on the shoulders and drops him.
Death Valley driver. And now Danny Limelight. What the hell is he doing? And now JR Kratos is getting up on the apron.
Dickinson nails him.
Yeah? You want some too?
Well, one thing is for sure when you're fighting.
Wait a minute.
Hey, Brody King.
Brody King taking care of the potential distraction of JR Kratos.
Lawlor got him in that rear naked chokehold. But Dickinson rolls backwards, able to reverse it, and has Lawlor in the suplex.
Oh, brainbuster, brainbuster from Chris Dickinson. We might have a new champion crown. The leg is hooked. 2 and a kick out.
Barely.
God.
The best chance that Chris Dickinson has had to unseat Tom Lawlor. Brody King dragging JR Kratos out of the building after Dickinson took care of Danny
15
Limelight.
minutes has elapsed. 15 minutes.
Dickinson looking to apply either a pile driver or a power bomb. Lawlor able to get out of it with a succession of punches and forearms. Oh, watch out, watch out.
This is where Lawler's got to be careful. Wait, going right back, trying that again, but second time counter, sunset flip, no. Both men back to their feet. Oh, another dragon screw.
Oh, and a spinning enziguri, nailing Tom Lawlor.
Lawler's down 2 and another kick out.
A near fall there, and Dickinson going for the, and he's able to apply it.
He's got the STF and pulling back. Can he submit filthy Tom Lawlor? What satisfaction this would be for Chris Dickinson.
Man, would this be something? Lawlor is in a lot of trouble right now. Look at the, oh, and Dickinson needs to be aware of where his back is also.
Still got the STF applied. Lawlor, though, able to get to the bottom rope.
Barely able to get to the rope. Dickinson really testing the champion. Oh my God, just drops him on his head.
You want some more?
And maybe a bigger challenge than Lawlor was expecting in Dickinson. Going for another. Lawlor was.
Whoa. Look at what Lawler's doing. Got the Kimura applied.
If he can lift up the back of.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Dickinson able to roll inward. He's still not completely out of trouble yet. Oh, watch out. Oh! Almost a version of a tombstone there, too. And he kicks out. Chris Dickinson kicks out. The wrestling IQ of Filthy Tom Lawlor is next level.
Both men have thrown everything that they've had.
Just to have the awareness to realize that that arm was available to him. And at that moment in time, facing either a power bomb or a pile driver, I'm going to hook in a double wrist lock. I'm going to try to submit Chris Dickinson. Just unbelievable.
Check me like that. You want to pull that shit? Huh? Huh? Oh! Huh? Huh?
Lawlor almost wanting to teach Dickinson a lesson here.
Got to be careful with Dickinson.
Oh, and a hard chop and slap.
Just blasting him with palm strikes. Be careful.
Lawlor is not afraid to throw down with any man, but Dickinson has true knockout power. Look at the way that he had him in the cravat while throwing those knees up. And
Swing and a miss. Exploder there. And now an Olympic slam. Wait, maybe not.
oh,
Yes, indeed. Lawlor floating over.
holding on.
Yep.
He's got that front face lock.
He's trying to choke Dickinson out again.
Because he couldn't wrap his feet around the body of Chris Dickinson. He didn't have the exact control that he wanted. Dickinson was able to roll over to get to the ropes, breaking that submission.
So Dickinson with great awareness of where he was in the ring, even though he was losing consciousness. And looking to sink that choke in again.
20 minutes have elapsed. 20 minutes.
20 minutes of back and forth action.
The cardiovascular endurance of both of these men is remarkable.
Look at the succession of kicks Dickinson is throwing. Lawlor able to duck out of one, applying the rear naked chokehold, but Dickinson throws him over. And look at the submission.
The hooks are in, and I think the lights are going out for Chris Dickinson. Wait a minute, maybe not.
Dickinson still has his wrist blocking that submission over. Rolls over for the pin. And a suplex.
Back suplex from Dickinson. He blocked the rear naked choke perfectly. And now moving. Comes in, no.
Back to it.
This time Dickinson doesn't have it blocked.
Dickinson is in a lot of danger. If he doesn't get to the rope, he's going to go out. Oh, slams him over.
Sleeper suplex, 2, 3. It is over.
Wow.
Time, 21 minutes and 16
Tough
seconds.
battle,
Here
Kevin.
is your
I'm
winner.
exhausted.
And still, NJPW Strong Openweight Champion, Filthy Tom Lawlor.
The first title defense on New Japan Strong and the longest match on New Japan Strong. 21 minutes, 16 seconds. Filthy Tom Lawlor turns aside the challenge. of Chris Dickinson. One hell of a wrestling match, though.
What a match. Chris Dickinson gave everything that he had. The prestige of this title is quickly growing by these two very respectable athletes.
I'll tell you what, Lawler's going to be a tough out. There isn't a wrestler alive that can't be beat. But
Once again,
you are
your
going to
winner
have to
and
be
still
just about
NJPW
perfect to
Strong
beat Tom
Openweight
Lawlor.
Champion, Filthy Tom
There isn't
Lawlor.
anything that Chris Dickinson can say after that match. If I would have done this instead of that. No, there's none of that.
He threw everything he had.
And when it came down to it, Filthy Tom Lawlor just beat him. Beat him with a wrestling move. So we might be saying it for a long time. Winner and NJPW Strong Openweight Champion, Filthy Tom Lawlor.
Makes sense to me. This title was almost created for this man.
You know, again, where he is, weight class wise, he could fight someone like a Danny Limelight, a Rocky Romero, a junior heavyweight, a heavyweight like Brody King. Anybody and everybody.
What a match it was to close out this week on NJPW Extra. We'll be back next week with the latest news from the New Year's Golden Series in Japan and from New Beginning USA on Strong, plus all the latest updates and another fantastic free match to bring you. We can't wait to see you then. Until next time, Gokigenyo, sayonara.